Hello guys, and welcome back to the MD Investor channel, the channel where we talk about personal finance. We're talking about setting goals, achieving goals, talking about getting out of debt, breaking the cycle of generational poverty, and making smart money moves. Welcome back guys. So today we're going to do a new video about the Roth IRA. New video about the Roth IRA. I'm sure you've heard about it before. You know, we did the last video on the traditional IRA. This one we're going to do on the Roth IRA. Very powerful wealth building technique that we're going to get into. If you don't know about it, it's definitely something to consider. A lot of people are doing it. Millions of people are doing it. And if you're not doing it, you're definitely, I would say you're losing out. Continue to like, continue to subscribe, continue to watch, learn, and most importantly, take action. Okay, if we learn and read and say, oh, that's cool, take no actions, what's the benefit? Okay, so on YouTube, it's MD Investor. Definitely hit the subscribe button and hit the little bell icon to be notified when new content comes out. On Instagram, it's MD Investor 1. If there's people out there you think could benefit from the information, feel free to send it. So let's get into it. The Roth IRA. What is it? Our last video we did in traditional IRA. And like the traditional IRA, it is an IRA, which stands for Individual Retirement Account. So it is an individual retirement account. But unlike the traditional IRA, where you have tax deferred status, meaning, you know, you get all this retirement money into the account, and it does its thing, it gets invested in all this stuff, and you do not pay until you begin to take it out at age 70 and a half. And then you begin to pay taxes on the required minimum distribution. So it is a retirement account like that, but the difference is, as opposed to the traditional IRA where you pay taxes later, or what they call tax deferred, with the Roth IRA you pay taxes up front. You pay taxes initially, and then all the growth and interest are tax free. That's the power and that's the benefit of it. One of the downside of it, though, is unlike the traditional IRA, where you get a better tax treatment now, meaning you get a tax deduction. So, for example, you're making $4,000 a month, and you're contributing $500 a month. You'd only be taxed on the $3,500. You won't be taxed on the contribution. But with the Roth, there is no tax deduction. You pay the tax now, but all the growth and all the interest and all that is tax free, which is the power of it. Okay, so the benefits of the Roth IRA, why do people want to do it? One, tax-free growth. Especially, think about it, a young person, 20, 25 years old, just started working. They pay the tax up front, and they have all those years of tax-free growth. So one of the benefits, tax-free growth. One of the other benefits we just mentioned, unlike the traditional IRA, where you have required minimum distribution, meaning whether you want to or not, with the traditional IRA, the government said, listen, we have let you play all these years, 40 years and so on. Now that you're 70 and a half, you haven't paid us any taxes yet. It's been tax deferred. Now that you're 70 and a half, now we want our money. Whether you want to take the money or not, at 70 and a half, we want our money. You have to start taking it out and pay us taxes. With the Roth IRA, there is no required minimum distribution, which means what? In the traditional IRA, they force you to start withdrawal at 70 and a half. With the Roth, there is no forced withdrawal. You don't have to take the money out if you don't want to. So that's one of the benefits. That's one of the benefits. So if you don't have to take the money out, well, what's the advantage? Well, more time for it to compound and grow and get larger. That's the power of it. Another benefit of the Roth IRA is that unlike the traditional IRA, where you can't contribute to a traditional IRA after age 70 and a half, they prevent you. With the Roth, you could, as long as you have earned income, you can contribute to a Roth IRA, right? You're working and you're 71, you're 72, you can continue to contribute, which means an additional money to be put into the fund to grow and become a larger amount. That's one of the advantages. Another advantage of the Roth IRA is that your beneficiaries can inherit it, and it can also continue to grow tax-free. Let me repeat that again. With a Roth IRA, your beneficiaries can inherit it, and it can continue to grow tax-free. Okay, so a lot of benefits to the Roth IRA. Tax-free growth, right? You pay the tax up front. You don't get any tax deduction, but all those years of growth is tax-free. There is no required minimum distribution or no RMD. So unlike the traditional IRA, where at age 70 and a half, they force you to start taking money out and be taxed on it. With the Roth IRA, there's no required minimum distribution. If you don't want to take the money out, you don't have to. You can let it grow until you're 90, 95 years old. There is no maximum age to contribute. As long as you have earned income, you can continue to contribute. If you're working at 71, 72, you can still continue to contribute. With the traditional IRA, there's a maximum age of 70 and a half. You cannot contribute anymore. And another benefit, the beneficiary in a Roth IRA that inherited, it can continue to grow tax-free for them. Okay, so we did the pros. What are some of the cons of the Roth IRA? Well, we should talk. Really one main con. One of the main con of the Roth IRA is that you don't get a tax deduction. With a traditional IRA, you got a tax deduction now on your taxes, so you don't pay taxes on the contribution. They don't get you now. They'll get you later. With the Roth IRA, you don't get the tax deduction. Okay, so you pay the tax now, but you hope that the benefit far outweighs the tax that you pay right now. Let's talk about contributions. Okay. In 2019, the maximum contribution to a Roth IRA was $6,000, which is an increase from $5,500 in 2018. Let's repeat that again. The maximum contribution to a Roth IRA in 2019 is $6,000. So that's about $500 a month, guys. $500 a month you guys could be contributing if you qualify. We'll get into that in a minute. $500 a month, if you qualify, you can contribute to a Roth IRA in 2019. And like I said, that increased from $5,500 in 2018, just last year. And there's an additional $1,000 you can contribute if you're 50 years old and above. Let's repeat that again. If you're 50 years old and above, the maximum contribution in 2019 goes from $6,000 to $7,000. So you have an additional $1,000, a catch-up contribution. Okay? Let's talk about the contributions. Let's talk about the contribution, because I said if you contribute. Correction. We said if you qualify. So what are the qualifications? Okay, I'm going to read this here. If you are married, filing jointly, and your 2019 modified adjusted gross income, meaning after all your deductions and so on, is less than $193,000, you can contribute the max. Repeat that again. Married, filing jointly, if your modified adjusted gross income is less than $193,000, you can do the maximum contribution, which is $6,000. Or if you're 50 and above, $7,000. Okay? If you are married, filing jointly, and your income is $203,000 or above, you are not eligible to contribute. Married, filing jointly, $200,000 or greater modified adjusted income, you are not eligible to contribute to the Roth for 2019. So repeat that again. Married, filing jointly, less than $193,000, you can do the max contribution. $6,000 or $7,000 if you're 50 or older. Married, filing jointly, modified adjusted gross income, $203,000 or more, you're not eligible to contribute. If you're in between those two numbers, $193,000 to $202,099, you can contribute, but it's at a reduced level. So those are the numbers to keep in mind. Okay, guys? Married, the numbers you want to keep in mind is $193,000 and $203,000. Okay? Less than $193,000, your goal, and you can contribute $6,000 or $7,000 if you're 50 and over. Over $203,000, not able to contribute. Between those two numbers, $193,000 and $202,299, you can contribute, but at a reduced level. What about those single people? Single or head of household or married filing separately, the numbers you want to keep in mind is $122,000. If you're below $122,000, you do max contribution, $6,000, and if you're 50 and over, $7,000. The other number is $137,000. If you're making $137,000 or more, you're not eligible to contribute if you're single, head of household, or married filing separately. Between those two numbers, $122,000 and $136,999, you can contribute, but it's at a reduced level. A lot of numbers, very technical, but the bottom line is there are criteria in which to make a contribution to the Roth, okay? And we gave those numbers. So the question now begs, what if I can't contribute? What if I make too much money? We're going to get to that, and I'm glad you asked that question, okay? But first, let me just mention this because I don't want to assume anything. You have to have earned income in order to contribute to the Roth IRA, just like the traditional. So someone that makes no money cannot contribute to a traditional IRA or a Roth IRA, with one exception. This is what they call a spousal IRA. So if you're married and you're a stay-at-home spouse and you do not work, you are eligible to contribute to a Roth IRA based on the working spouse's income. So the only exception for people to contribute to a Roth IRA and have not earned income themselves is if they're married. And if they're married, they can contribute to a Roth IRA based on the working spouse's income. Everyone else needs earned income in order to contribute to the Roth. Just want to get that out there. And the other thing I want to mention is that you can't contribute more than you have earned to a Roth IRA. For example, we said the maximum contribution to Roth IRA in 2019 is $6,000 and $7,000 if you're 50 and over. If you only made $3,000 for the year, you cannot contribute $6,000. That's what I mean. You only contribute if you only earn $3,000 for the year, you can't contribute more than $3,000. You can only contribute up to the amount you've earned. Of course, with the max being $6,000 or $7,000 if you're 50 and over. So if you only earn $3,000, you can only contribute that amount. Okay? Just want to get at it. Now let's get back to your question that you had. What if I make too much money and I'm above the limit in which I can contribute? This sounds like a great plan. I pay the tax now, and then I have all those years of tax-free growth. It sounds very beneficial, but I make too much money. I'm a high earner. I can't contribute. What can I do? You're right. You can't make Roth IRA contributions because you're above the limit. But there's something called a backdoor Roth. There's something called a backdoor Roth. A backdoor Roth IRA is not an official type of retirement account. It's basically just an informal name to describe an IRS-sanctioned method. Keyword, IRS-sanctioned, because the IRA allows this. IRS-sanctioned method for high-income taxpayers to fund a Roth, even though their income is above the cutoff for contributions. In layman's terms, basically, you make too much money to contribute, but the IRS allows a go-around for you to still get access to the Roth IRA, and it's IRS sanctioned. Okay? How to create a backdoor Roth IRA. How's this done? One, you can open a traditional IRA, fund the traditional IRA, okay? Fund the traditional IRA with whatever you want to put, $6,000, $7,000 in there, and then you roll over the funds to a Roth IRA. Essentially, you're going to pay the taxes now, and then convert it to a Roth IRA. That's how you get around it. Okay? That's how you get around it. Or if you have existing traditional, you have existing funds in a traditional IRA, it's already an established IRA. All you do is just roll the money over into a Roth and then pay the taxes. How much can I roll over? You can roll over as much as you want. You can roll over even more than the maximum contribution. We said the maximum contribution is $6,000 if you're 49 and below, or $7,000 if you're 50 and above. Well, say for example you have a Roth, say for example you have a traditional IRA, and you have $100,000 in that traditional IRA, and you say, well, you know, with this traditional IRA, I'm going to have required minimum distributions. I'm going to have to start taking out these RMDs at age 70 and a half and pay taxes on it. But you know what? I don't want to do that. I heard about this Roth IRA, this backdoor Roth IRA. I want to start converting some of this traditional IRA into a Roth IRA. You can take out more than the $6,000 or $7,000 contribution max. You say, okay, I'll take out I'll take out $10,000. All you do is take out $10,000. You'll be taxed on that $10,000 at your marginal tax rate, and then you would pay the tax, and then that $10,000 would now be converted into a Roth IRA. Of course, you have to pay the tax on that, but then now instead of having $100,000 in your traditional IRA, you now have paid the tax on $10,000. Now you have $10,000 in your Roth, which was converted. You paid the tax. Now you only have $90,000 left in your traditional. And you can do that little by little until you bring the whole thing over. Because the other way to do it is to do the whole thing. But the problem is that if you do the whole thing, there's going to be a large tax, right? $100,000, and you're going to be paying tax on that. That's going to be a big, large sum of money. And the other thing you want to remember that in the year that you do the conversion, the amount of money that you convert is going to be added to your income. Say, for example, you're making $50,000 a year for year 2019. You have a traditional account, traditional IRA with $100,000 in there, and you want to convert some. If you say you want to convert the whole $100,000, that $100,000 is going to be added to your $50,000 a year salary. So for the year 2019, it would show on paper that you had a taxable income of $150,000. Your $50,000 per year you make normally, and then the entire $100,000 that you want to convert would be added to your $50,000. For that year of 2019, it would show an income of $150,000. You see now why it would put you into a different tax bracket from the $50,000 tax bracket. Now, which you're in, it'll bring you up to show your income of $150,000. That's why a lot of people, what they do is, you know, we have the tax bracket, right? You know, 0 to 10,000 or whatever. You can go and Google the tax bracket, right? And what a lot of people will do is they will convert as much as they can, but not so much that it puts them into the next bracket. That's what they would do. They would convert as much as they can to stay within their same tax bracket and no more. And let's do a little each year. So guys, just in a little, I know it's a little technical today, but this is a very powerful system. The last thing I want to mention, guys, is about, we talked about converting from a traditional to a Roth. Converting from a traditional to a Roth. The money that has been converted from a traditional to a Roth, they consider it converted funds. So with the example we're doing, you have $10,000 and you convert it to a Roth. That $10,000 is considered converted funds, and it's looked upon differently than someone who had contributed $10,000 to the Roth IRA. So two terms: contributed. Two terms: contribution, which is money that people have contributed to the Roth IRA because they met the requirement, and then converted funds, who are people that didn't meet the requirements, but they paid the tax and they converted. They're treated very differently. When you make contributions to a Roth IRA, the contributions are immediately eligible to be withdrawn. With the contribution, because you already pay taxes, the contribution can be taken out, and you can do with it as you see fit, and there's no penalties. No penalties. The interest and so on, you can't take those out until age 59 and a half. But the contribution that you contributed, you can take them out immediately. Converted funds, right? You have a traditional IRA and you pay the tax and you converted. Those are not seen as the same as contribution. You have to, it's called a 5-year rule. You have to wait 5 years in order to have access to those converted funds penalty free. If you don't wait the 5 years and you begin to take out those converted funds, then you could be hit with a 10% tax. Okay? So just to keep them in mind, guys, converted funds are the funds that you converted from a traditional to Roth. You have to wait 5 years in order to have access to those funds without penalty. If you take them out before 5 years, 10% penalty. Contributions are treated differently. They're immediately accessible to you without penalty. The interest and dividends are not available to you until age 59 and a half. So just a quick little technical video today, guys. A lot of numbers and stuff. But the key is, the Roth IRA is a very powerful strategy. You pay the tax up front, and then you have all those years of tax-free growth. Very powerful, especially for like younger people who's gonna have all those years of tax-free growth. Think about somebody 21, 22 years old, just started working, and they're doing their maximum contribution to Roth IRA, pay the taxes up front, and then they have all these decades and decades of tax-free growth, okay? Very, very powerful strategy. And if we don't meet the requirements and we make too much money, there's another way, the backdoor Roth, right? Where we just basically pay the tax now and the money is converted to a Roth IRA. Another powerful strategy, okay? A lot of benefits to the Roth IRA, guys. Do your own reading and research, but it's a very powerful strategy that a lot of people are using. So continue to, guys, to subscribe to the channel. If there's people out there, guys, who you think could benefit from this information, definitely send them the link. Let them know to go to YouTube and subscribe to MD Investor. On Instagram, it's MD Investor 1. Continue to learn and continue to take actions. And I will see you on the next video.